Now you feel like number one, shining bright for everyone, living out your fantasy. Oh! Yo! I love it! Oh man, that song always gets me. I know a lot of people just cringed hearing me sing, but look, I can't help it. I am a fanboy to the Bleach anime. I'll admit it. I'll straight up, I'll admit it. I am a fanboy to Bleach, and my goodness, when that song started to play at the end of episode 13, it kicked that emotion in me. I started singing along because it's like, yo, I grew up with this, man. I grew up with Bleach. I remember watching Bleach back in like 2012, 2011. Like, I remember just watching it week to week, every new episode. It was an incredible experience. And when that song started to play, especially with Ichigo reforming his new Zanpakuto, his Zangetsu, and you see, his Hollow side, his Quincy side, and his Soul Reaper side kind of merge into a proper entity, it's a beautiful sequence. And the overall title, when it says, like, the blade is me, like, I think that it's legitimately just such a fantastic, like, theme that this episode tries to convey, is that Ichigo has fully been forged as a person. Alongside of his Zanpakuto, he is complete. He is no longer incomplete, or parts of him are missing or not explained. He knows who he really is. It's a very beautiful moment for the episode, beautiful moment for the series, honestly, and it really gives a lot of context to kind of just Bleach in general, what's been going on with, Kurosaki Ichigo, our MC, since the very beginning of the story, to finding out more about his mother and father, to finding out kind of about his origins of his Hollow, to, Urahara and kind of what he's been doing with Ichigo's family for a very long time. It's a very fascinating episode, or fascinating last two episodes, because we had a 2-episode special today. It was beautiful, and I'm gonna miss having Bleach air every single Monday. I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be painful having to wait for the next, 6 months or whatever, but, I mean, it's still, at the same time, it's better than waiting 10 years. I think we can all agree on that one. So let's talk about that first before I kind of dive into any more of the content of episode 13 and 12 that came out. So when is it returning? I think that's a question many are going to be wondering, and there's probably some of you out there that have no idea that this is the last episode for a while, because some might think that Bleach might air next week, or be on break next week and then come back the week after. That's not going to happen. So basically, what was announced very early on, and I did make videos on this and cover it, but there's definitely some of you out there that might have started watching me thanks to this season of Bleach, so let's just get everybody on board on the same page. Basically, Bleach was announced to have 4 different cores, aka cores means like a 12-episode run, 12 to 13-episode run, and then it goes on break for maybe a season or 2, and then it comes back. This happens for a lot of different series nowadays, which is very healthy for production, and allows the art style and animation to stay in line and be very consistent. And I think that if we want Bleach to remain consistent and look as good as it has, obviously, from this episode to the first episode of the 1,000-Year Blood War, we definitely need the cores. We need the breaks in between the seasons. We don't need it to keep pumping out an episode every single week, or it'll turn into a long-running show problem to where production will slowly start to, collapse in on itself. So it having breaks is a good thing, and we already know there's going to be 4 cores, which, if we go by the episode count, normal episode count of, what 4 cores are, that's around, 40 to 50 episodes. So, at the very least, it has been announced that Bleach, the 1,000-Year Blood War, will have about 50 episodes. So, anyone that was worried that there might be cut content doesn't really have much to fear. In fact, there is probably enough room to be able to add in a lot more content, which is why many, such as myself, have been talking about the added content, like stuff from the light novels, to things that should have been added in that Kubo didn't, or wasn't able to dive into in the manga, stuff like that. So, we know for a fact that Bleach will be that long, it's just we're gonna have to wait. Now, when is episode 14 technically supposed to come out? Well, that's the thing. It's supposed to apparently come out in July of 2023, so summer season of anime 2023. That means that we're gonna have to get through the winter of anime, 2023, and then spring of anime 2023, and then we'll finally have Bleach return. So it's gonna be on a 2-season break, which, I'll be honest, it sucks. That sucks. 7 months wait, that sucks. But it's better to wait than never have it. And I mean, look, we waited 10 years to be able to just see this, to be able to actually see Bleach animated once again, getting to see just all these different scenes that we never thought honestly might even happen. We finally got to see it, and I think because of that 7-month wait, 6 to 7 months is really not that bad. It really isn't. So let's talk a little bit deeper into this episode and kind of what's being set up here. So it's very clear since like the around episode 7, 8 of this season of Bleach that it's been kind of prepping for the end game, prepping for the final fight. Like ever since Ichigo fought Bach, Juha Bach, and fought him. It's clear that the series has been having the characters rest, train, and try to figure out ways to empower themselves to be stronger against the Quincy army. I mean, we have multiple different captains kind of seeking training or to get better, to learn the basics. It's a very beautiful episode. We get to see multiple captains that, like, let's say, lost their Bankais, trying to train and get better in their own way to be able to face the upcoming battles. Because without their Bankais, they're definitely nowhere near as strong as they once were. So they need to, hone their other abilities to be able to actually fight, which means that Kido might play a very good part in the upcoming fights of Bleach, because that's one of the big things that they're going to have to rely on if their very Bankai has been stolen from them. Another thing to really factor into all this is obviously just Ichigo's backstory. There's a lot here that we got from episode 12 to 13, but I have episode 13 pulled up right here. But basically, we found out a lot about Ichigo's, his Zanpakuto Zangetsu, or Old Man Zangetsu. We found out a lot about, the hollow within Ichigo called White. We found out a lot about his origins when it comes to his mother and father. Honestly, it's been quite the revelation for Ichigo as a character, and I think many people that have somehow managed to stay anime only up to this very point, honestly, I'm curious, how do you feel about the reveals? Because I know that there's going to be some out there that are anime only, so that probably have been spoiled. But even if you have or haven't, how do you feel about the revelation that Ichigo is a Quincy, technically? Ichigo is, a hollow Quincy, human, and Soul Reaper. He is all of them mixed. He's a massive hybrid, a balance of the soul itself, and which is why he's always had eternal conflict within him. It makes so much sense when you think about everything that has been presented already in the story, that, he clearly is someone that always had this turmoil inside of him, because Quincy's, go against hollows. Hollows go against Quincy's. Soul Reapers and Quincy's are kind of opposites of each other too. There's always these conflicts between it, and I think it's very fascinating to just see the overall balance of Ichigo's soul kind of happen within this episode, because we already saw steps kind of taking place towards this, at the end of Aizen's fight, that arc where Ichigo's hollow and his Zangetsu kind of made a merger to be able to give him final Getsuga Tensho. We have seen these different examples of like Ichigo, kind of having this unity within him, but finally being able to understand his Quincy side is what has allowed this unity in the first place. It was the last piece of the puzzle that he actually needed, because his hollow version, his human version, and Soul Reaper version were already at peace with each other, but now the Quincy has kind of been accepted as well. It's beautiful. It's a very beautiful moment, and I love getting to see Ichigo's inner world with his Zanpakuto, because we've saw this in the past. Like, we have saw Ichigo's world flooded, underwater, and this was a big concept to his, inner world at the end of the Aizen arc, where it was completely flooded because Ichigo's pain, his, his suffering, because he wants to save his friends, he feels helpless, he feels weak, he wanted something, and you had, like, the hollow version of Ichigo trying to help him out, but was also very scared for him, and obviously we found out Zangetsu is also very scared, or, the fake Zangetsu that's been kind of lying about everything since the very beginning, that looks very much like Bach. There is a lot that you could really get from this episode as well, especially when Ichigo starts to climb out of the darkness as well, when he starts jumping on the falling skyscrapers to kind of get back to the surface. It shows that he's not just going to sit there underwater in misery, he is going to seek happiness. Once again, it's a very beautiful scene. Now, let's actually talk about Old Man Zangetsu, because I think this is going to be a very big thing for a lot of people to really just take in, and I feel like anyone that's anime only definitely are going to be kind of shocked about this, but might have caught on early on, because anyone that remembers Zangetsu, his design, he does look a lot like Bach. I mean, yes, there's no denying how he looks. And I want to kind of talk about that a little bit more. When this was revealed in the manga, I remember there was a lot of theories, a lot of discussion around, Bach's design. And a lot of people kind of threw it out there saying maybe it's because Tite Kubo's lazy and, just similar character designs. And Tite Kubo has done similar designs of other characters, like they do kind of look similar in the manga and even in the anime. Nobody can really deny that. But the point is that it was very weird that inside Ichigo's inner world, Zangetsu looked so much like Bach. And so it led many people to believe that maybe Zangetsu has been lying about something. And then when the reveal actually happens, like, okay, that makes a lot more sense. Because early on within, like, the Bleach manga and anime, there was a moment to where Ichigo couldn't actually hear Zangetsu's real name. Which implies that Tite Kubo was cooking this up for a very long time. Like, he was cooking up this plot twist for a very, very long time within his manga. So, because of that, it's like, wow, he really has been planning this. Like, this whole thing with, Bach and, like, Zangetsu and all that. It's pretty freaking cool. So, just the overall reveal is interesting, especially finding out he's basically Quincy, and also kind of how Ichigo's mother died in the first place. I think that is a very big revelation that is going to change the very foundation of people's understanding of the Bleach series, because a lot of things that's led Ichigo to be like he is thanks to his mother's death. And now knowing that Ichigo's mother technically died because her powers were stripped from her, thanks to Bach itself, is definitely something that's going to make him have a little bit more aggression and anger towards the Quincy King. And I think because of that, we're setting up for the final battle. There's motivation there for Ichigo to fight and not back down, but also the cause of why his mother died in the first place. Now, did Bach purposely go after Ichigo's mother? Most likely not. The point is he still took power away from other Quincy's, which put them in danger. It was just a very unfortunate circumstance for why Ichigo's mother died that day. Which, speaking of mothers dying, we have to talk about Ishida's mother as well. It was revealed that thanks to Bach taking the power from a bunch of Quincy's, Ishida's mother fell ill and died. So, some Quincy's did just straight up die thanks to the power being taken from them, and Ishida lost his mother thanks to that, which makes this very ending sequence of, like, the episode more fascinating, that Ishida is going to work for Bach after everything that we just found out. There's just no way, looking at Ishida's character, what he is, or who he is, that he would probably work with someone that would actually be responsible maybe for his mother's death. But at the same time, we do know that he is someone that believes in tradition. He does believe in Quincy's, etc. So him being here also makes a lot of sense. So is this kind of indirectly building up a potential fight between Ichigo versus Ishida? Like, are we actually going to get a match like that? See, that's what this kind of leads you to believe as well. So there's a lot, honestly, going on with this finale of Core 1, and I legitimately love it. I love everything about it. There's a lot of setup, a lot of hints for what's going to happen. It's honestly just been a fantastic run for Bleach. Banger after banger, non-stop amazing episodes with remixed soundtracks, beautiful art and animation. It has honestly been an incredible journey. I'm gonna miss talking about Bleach, honestly, because it's like, I forgot how much I really loved Bleach until I sat down and I started recording. I'm gonna be honest with you. I forgot how much I missed this series. Like, I've always missed it, but like, it's hard to explain. Like, I didn't realize how much I truly missed Bleach until, like, I put my camera down, put my audio recording on, like, record myself, turned on the camera, and just started talking. Like, I did not realize how much I missed it until then. And it's emotional, honestly, that it's back and it's already gone. It's sad. But, I guess I'll leave it at that. Hopefully I will get to see all of you guys again for the upcoming Bleach episodes that air July of next year. I will see you guys all then. Hopefully you guys stick around and watch more of my content. But thank you so much, everyone that has watched. Be safe, stay healthy. Chibi out.